What is going on, you beautiful people? I hope you are all having an amazing day so far. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to transmute sexual energy when you're on a long retention streak, semen retention. So I'm actually making this video because I've got a mate who was very much so caught up in lust, and he set the challenge himself to go an extended period of time on semen retention. And basically he asked me the question, he said, bro, I'm doing this, I think he's about 2 weeks in or something like that. He said, how do I essentially transmute this energy that's building up within me, this sexual energy? How do I transmute that and use that to, further my progress in other areas of life? Like, how do I take that sexual energy, which is within me, building up inside and, essentially, like urging you to release, and how do I direct that outward into life, into myself? Now, the process of transmuting sexual energy, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I think it's still worth a video and worth a conversation. So you're gonna have this energy build up within you, right? Now, usually for the common man, when he has any degree of sexual energy build up within him, straight away, oh, I need to release. I need to, I need to pleasure myself, or I need to get with a woman or whatever. Like, as soon as he feels that building up of sexual energy, even the smallest amount, he's gonna release straight away. Now, what sexual transmutation basically is it's the opposite. So people who are practicing semen retention, of course, they still get the urges, and we still get the urges of the buildup of sexual energy. And yes, of course, there's still the impulse there to release, whether it be with a woman or by yourself, if that's your thing. But the difference is you choose not to do that, right? You choose and you make a decision to instead retain it. But it's not just about retaining it, it's about transmuting it, okay? So it's one thing to retain it, but then to be able to actually harness that energy, which is building up within the body, and direct it into other things, right? Let's say you're in a moment of, like, call it temptation, if you will. It's not really, it's more like a biblical type approach to it, but let's just say you're literally horny, right? That's the best word for it. You're experiencing a moment of, being horny, and you've got this sexual energy building up within you, and you want to release, and you want to call that chick, or you want to do whatever. Instead of doing that, instead of giving into that sort of desire of, arousal, you then say, okay, I've got this sexual energy within me. It's literally like brimming throughout my entire body. I'm going to take that and I'm going to put this energy into the run that I'm about to do. Or I'm going to take this energy and I'm going to use it, not pretend it's not there, but you embrace it, and I'm going to put it into the gym session I'm about to train, or I'm about to put it into the book that I'm writing, right? It's all about using the energy in other ways. And you might be thinking, bro, this energy is sexual energy. You're not going to use it to write a book. That's creative energy. That's a different sort of energy. No, it's actually not. Sexual energy is creative energy. And the longer you go on retention streaks, the more you learn this. In my personal experience, I can't speak for everyone, but a large portion of people who do retention do speak on this. The longer I retain, the more creative I become, the more I am able to tap into this source of creativity, and call it manifestation even. It truly is an extremely powerful thing. Sexual energy is creative energy. And it's just a case of retaining long enough for you to experience it for yourself. If you go, let's say, like I've had people before say, oh, Ricky, bro, I've tried the retention thing. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't change anything. And I say, how long did you go? And they say, I went like 4 days. I'm just like, come on, bro. That's like 4 days. You got to up the ante a little bit. Like, go at least 2 weeks, if not a month. Like, every man should do at least 1 month in his life where he doesn't finish. What you learn through that experience, what you learn through the process of just retaining, you don't have to do anything. You just have to stop doing certain things, right? Stop masturbation and stop having sex while finishing. Or, you know what, this is based on individual preference, but you can still do those two things and not finish and practice semen retention. Some people do that. I've engaged in long periods of semen retention before, and I've still been having sex. That's just my preference. If you can get to a point where you can do that and you have the control over your sexual energy to that degree, go for it. It's definitely something you need to work into though. But yeah, the gist is you gotta give it some time, right? It's an energy, and it needs to build up within you. And when you notice it build up within you, you'll notice the changes then. But it's not gonna happen in 3-4 days, right? For some people it might, but for most people, I know for me, at about the 1 week mark, one week, maybe 1 week and sort of 3 days type thing, around the 10-day mark, that's when I'm starting to feel like, oh shit, like I can notice the changes within me now. I feel way more energized. I feel stronger. I feel smarter. I feel more creative. And you know what? You can watch this and sort of think, oh, it's all placebo. You know what? It might be. It might be placebo, but it doesn't necessarily matter, does it? If something gives you these newfound abilities within yourself and you're able to tap into a better version of yourself, whether it's placebo or not placebo, it doesn't matter. You still get the effects. Okay. And on top of that as well, there have been countless like studies and people speaking out on the power of semen retention. And I know to some people it's like a weird thing. It's like, oh bro, just ejaculate, bro. It's not that deep, but it actually is that deep. Like your life force, semen, has the power to create life. It's literally like life coming out of you. And I think if men had a bit more respect for their life force and for their sexual energy, they would be able to tap into a much more powerful and potent version of themselves. But the majority of men are just constantly wasting their life force on a daily basis. Oh, I'm going to watch this video. I'm going to look at that picture. I'm going to sleep with this random chick. It's all a waste. You know, that energy would have otherwise gone to building you up as a man. It would have gone into building your business. It would have gone into building your physique, building your connections, just building everything about you. Energy, I'm probably going to butcher the quote, but there's a quote by, who is it by? I think it's Nikola Tesla. I might be, or Albert Einstein. I might honestly be butchering that, so don't absolutely quote me on it. But the quote goes somewhat along the lines of, energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed. Meaning, when you have an energy within you, it has to go somewhere. Okay, like this sexual energy that's building up within you, it has to go somewhere. Where's it gonna go? That's dependent on you. You can waste it on videos and pictures and random chicks who actually don't give a fuck about you, or there's no like actual connection. Or you can use that sexual energy and put it back into yourself, in your business, in your physique, in your progress in life, in everything. It's an energy source. So many people walking around, men particularly, looking like shells of themselves, right? They look like tired and like they're just like, you know, they're just glazed over eyes, like there's no one, you know, lights are on but no one's home type thing, brain fog, all that sort of stuff. I believe a large portion of that is because they just have a super wasteful relationship towards their sexual energy. I'm not saying sex is bad or anything like that. I love sex, right? Sex is awesome. But I just think be a little bit more mindful about your sexual energy and your life force, and don't just waste it all the time. I think it's a Chinese saying. It basically says 1 drop of semen, 10 drops of blood, which is implying, you know, you waste this life force, you just fucking essentially have a real wasteful relationship towards it. You're like taking away from your own life, from your own essence. You know, I think the Chinese quote comes off the principle, I think they believe it takes like 10 drops of blood to make 1 drop of semen. So when you know, ejaculate and waste all this life force, you're like literally taking away from yourself, you know, all the minerals and whatnot that are expelled in an ejaculation. There's like zinc and whatever, all this stuff. And, you know, on top of that as well, a lot of men are so like focused and they have so much awareness around testosterone. But when you ejaculate, and this is proven by studies, look into it, when you release as a man, your body gets flooded with prolactin. Okay, now prolactin is going to literally suppress testosterone for a significant period of time. I think it's called a refractory period. I believe that's like 7 to 14 days. If I'm remembering correctly. I know it's definitely at least 7 days. So after a man ejaculates, he's in a period of essentially like recovering, and he needs to build these things back up within himself, and that can last for a significant amount of time, like 7 to 14 days, something like that. And that's something to be aware of, because, you know, if you're ejaculating every day, you're never actually exiting that refractory period. And so you're always showing up as a lesser version of yourself. And on one more note, I want to mention, with the whole refractory period thing, right? If you are in this state where, you know, you're always, you know, ejaculating and you're entering this refractory period, just understand why that refractory period actually exists. On a biological level, your body and mind, the sole intent is to reproduce, right? Literally, like the sole intent is to reproduce and have a kid. When you ejaculate, you enter this refractory period, and basically your body is flooded with prolactin and this and this and this. And that's basically a biological way of your body saying, congratulations, you just had a kid. That's what it thinks. You just had a kid, you can relax now. So it puts you in this state, or like a neurochemical state of relaxation. It floods you with all the things that's going to relax you and calm you down. Decrease testosterone, increase like dopamine and etc. after ejaculation and etc. Right? So just think about it. And I think it's worthwhile to cultivate a healthier relationship towards your sexual energy and transmute it, okay? As I said, with the transmutation process, it's literally allowing it to build up within you, noticing it's there, embracing it, not shunning it away or pretending it's not there or demonizing it or anything like that. No, you're just getting it, you're allowing yourself to experience it, and then you're directing it into other things in your life. And when you can do that, you become extremely powerful, and you get this fuel source, which so many men do not have, because you literally have the edge over a lot of other guys. Not that it's like a fucking competitive thing, but if we're going purely off a basis of comparison, even to yourself now, to your former self, when you are on semen retention, you are stronger, you are sharper, you are quicker, you are more intelligent, you are a much better version of yourself. There's a reason why fighters in boxing, and even I think MMA in some regards, they don't ejaculate or sleep with their partners or whatever leading up to a fight, because a natural hunger builds up within a man, the sexual energy, which can then be transmuted into power, into creativity, into whatever you want to transmute it into. So guys, I hope you got a ton of value from this video. If you are currently practicing retention, I think it's a real good thing to do. So good on you for that. If you're not and you're still sort of on the fence, don't take my word for it. Literally experience it for yourself. Go a month without ejaculating. And you might be thinking, oh bro, I can't go a month, I can't even go 3 days. You only believe that because that's what you've been telling yourself, and because you don't have a past reference of success. About 3 months ago, I went 100 days without ejaculating and I was completely fine. Like, there's nothing that limits you. The only thing that limits you is your own mind, okay? If you believe you can't do it, you're not going to be able to do it. If you believe you can do it, you will be able to do it. That's it. You don't need to ejaculate. It's not a need, it's a want, okay? So give it a go, try it out, see how you go. And I hope this video provided you some degree of value, and you can use that sexual energy, which builds up in you, and transmute it into all different areas of your life so you can become the best version of you. If you got value from it and you liked it, feel free to give it a like, subscribe, share it with your mates if you feel like they'd get value from it as well. And if you want to reach out to me on social media, my Instagram handle is Ricky Gauci, RICKYGAUCI. Thanks guys, have a good one, and I'll see you on the next video.